Hello everybody, this is Catholic Dad, episode number 447, Natural Family Planning. I actually, the last couple of videos I was talking about the clocks on the wall, how you could put clocks on the wall and they're all bing bong, but over the course of days, they actually start resonating with one another, and that clocks actually, they live with one another, and and we still can't explain why clocks will actually synchronize with one another. And that may be the chaos in life that is the essence of meaning, okay? And then I proposed with face masks and Galileo that when you place a face mask over the face of somebody, you may be getting in the essence of the harmonizing of humanity. And so people may actually be really disrupting how the essence of life with humanity. And so that's a short preamble, but it got me thinking about natural family planning. And I don't know if everybody out there knows what this is, but natural family planning is Catholic, right? So Catholics aren't allowed to contracept. It's a grave and mortal evil, but they are allowed periods to abstain from the marital act during the, timing it with the female cycle to decrease their chances of getting pregnant. That's allowable. And when I was a kid, it was supposed to be for grave, rare instances, but apparently nowadays they teach everybody about natural family planning in pre-K. It's kind of like a prerequisite of getting married. Personally, in a full disclosure, I disagree with this. Most people don't have a reason to use it because they don't have grave reasons not to be having children. But all that being said is the essence of human life, and I want to talk about that really quickly. My oldest son got married a couple years ago, and he had to take this pre-Cana course, which was really in depth, I must say. It was a lot more than I got when I was a kid. But he said to me, "Hey, Dad, I know more about natural family planning than you do." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, you don't. And then he said, "Well, yeah, you got your luteinizing hormone and your follicle stimulating hormone and your estrogen and your progesterone, and yeah, I learned that in med school, okay, buddy? But that's not natural family planning. You don't have to think about the hormones and everything else. I can sum it up in 2 sentences, okay? When you want to, don't. When you do want to, do." Now think about that. This is really funny. The human body is designed when the female cycles and ovulates, that she's supposed to be drawn toward the husband, right? And the husband's supposed to be drawn toward her, and that's how actually, you have a baby, and you have the marital embrace, right? And so that maximizes at the time of her peak fertility, right? This is just normal, natural human functioning. It's also true in the animal kingdom and whatever else. And then when you're not at periods of fertility, your desire, goes down, like it gets depressed. And so when I say when you do want to, don't, because you're probably fertile, right? But when you don't want to, then do, because you're probably not fertile. And so that actually, and try to practice that for years on end, right? Where you have desire for your spouse, and yet you have to leave them alone, right? And then you don't have desire for your spouse, and then that's when you're supposed to not leave them alone. It's like everybody who does this on a regular basis, please, you can comment if you want and try to tell me if that doesn't build resentment in your marriage, right? I think it probably would. Anyway, so where was I going with this? Oh, so the natural rhythms of humanity, right? That's kind of like you're living together in this harmony, and that when you're supposed to respond to each other in a human way. Now, in the Catholic Church, when we get married, it's actually signing. When you get married, it's actually a physical contract where you allow your spouse sole access to your physical being, your body, whenever it's requested, as long as it's a reasonable request, right? Out in public, no, not reasonable, right? And that's called paying the marital debt. And in Catholic marriages, if somebody requests and it's reasonable, then the other spouse should pay it, even if it's not, even if, the timing is a little bit off for them or whatever else. It's just called paying the marital debt. And so when you get in the way of paying the marital debt, you may be altering the marriage in a way that doesn't harmonize the clocks on the wall. Like you may actually be getting in the way of a true marital relationship, a true union, a true desiring of one another as a spouse for the creation of children. And that's just something to think about. But I did find it funny that I think I'm right about that. Natural family planning, you could boil it down to those 2 sentences. When you want to, don't. When you don't want to, do. And we were at this big Catholic camp one time, and another couple was there, and I had, I don't know, 8 children at the time, or 7 or something like that. I don't know. I have 9 now, and they said to me, so where'd you learn natural family planning? And I said, well, I didn't really learn it. I don't practice it. And he's like, oh, oh. And I'm like, what? Oh, I want to know. And he goes, oh, you're one of those people. And I'm like, one of what people are you talking about? And he said, you're a providential. And I'm like, providential? He's like, you just leave it up to God's providence. I'm like, yeah, I guess that's one way of saying it. Or I'm just a married dude that loves his wife. Like, I don't know why you have to label those kind of things. But very interesting. So think about your natural family planning, because the reason, first off, I don't think most people have a reason to use it. And I'm not to judge other people's relationships. I'm not at all. I'm not just saying that. But I think people probably overuse it. Back when I was a bunch of years ago, I had a buddy and I, we used to call it natural family unplanning, because people actually used it as a form of contraception. But when you're in a marital relationship and your spouse has sole access to your physical being, unitive and procreative, and then you alter that to keep it away from the times of maximal desire, you may be altering your relationship in a negative manner, and you probably are, because I suspect, and I've never practiced it, but I suspect those who practice exclusively natural family planning are pretty frustrated individuals a lot of the time. And so, yeah, you can comment if you want. Yeah, I mean, I'm just presuming things, but well, anyway, so just think about that, because when you alter the marital relationship based upon your desires outside of children, you may be like clocks on a wall and taking away some je ne sais quoi, or some essence of life. Well, anyway, this is Catholic Dad making you think about it. Please like or subscribe, get the Mass, and pray the Daily Rosary. God bless you all.